God, my tongue tie. Not too long coming in from the night shift, people. See? Not too long, did basically a 16-hour shift. Yeah? So I'm just out here now to give you guys your Sunday content, although it's late. Happy Sunday, guys. And not only that, guys, big up the good fathers that are out here. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. The not yet dads, the stepdads, the mom who are dad, the adoptive dads, and the granddads and the dads who are no longer with us. Big up on this day. Happy Father's Day. Now, people, we want to talk about a few things. But before we get into that, guys, we always have to put Almighty God in motion. We always have to put Almighty God at the steering wheel. And we also have to put Almighty God first. Big up Almighty God on this day. Happy Sunday, guys. Without God, who can we be today? And without God, who can we trust? So on this day, guys, big up on a nice clean self. And today's Sunday. I know this one is late, but let's unpack in your kitchen. Are you drinking any mint tea? And the chamomile tea, turmeric tea, ginger tea, guinea hen tea, and catnip tea, all the kind of teas. You know, thyme tea, orange peel tea, and all the teas in that you're supposed to be chowing down this morning. You know what I mean? Because I pull up in the audio, in the content, yeah. I don't watch nobody, yeah. So drag your mom, your dad, and everybody else on this content this morning so we can unpack digitally and keenly. Okay, guys? So let's move on quick and fast and let's unpack this content quick and fast. Grooming gang guilty of raping or graping and abusing girls. I should remember the word grape. Okay, guys? So this happened basically, this handed sentence happened basically the 13th of June. And we're going to unpack. Mohammed Zahid, who led the gang, was known as Boss Man and worked at the Rochdale Market. So this is in basically the UK, right, guys? All right. 7 men have been found guilty of sexual exploiting 2 teenage girls who were repeatedly raped and assaulted in Rochdale for 5 years. The gang was convicted of various sexual offenses against the girls between 2001 and 2006. The victim, known as Girl A and Girl B, were groomed from the age of 13 and treated as sex slaves, being expected to have sex with the men whenever or wherever they wanted, the trial heard. Girl A told the jury she could have been targeted by more than 200 men, while Girl B said social workers had regarded her as a prostitute from the age of 10. No, sir. Manchester, Minshull Street Crown Court heard that both girls had deeply troubled lives and were plied with drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes, and given places to stay by men who worked on the town's market or as taxi drivers. The prosecution said the girls were children passed around for sex, abused, degraded, and discarded. Added, they became sex slaves. Girl A told the jury she may have been preyed on by hundreds of men as her phone number was swapped, but said where was the many, it was hard to keep count. There was that many, so it was hard to keep count, people. All right? She told local children's services in 2004 she was hanging around with groups of older men, drinking and taking cannabis, the court heard. Girl B, who was living in a children's home when she came in contact with the men on the market, said police and social workers knew that was what was going on, but weren't concerned enough to do anything about it. It was in my file when they looked it up. I read it. The woman, now aged in her 30s, told the court. I was picked up by the police for loitering and prostitution from the age of 10. Oh no. 3 of the abusers, Mohammed Zahid, 64, the leader of the gang, Mushtank Ahmed, 67, and Cashier Bashir, 50, were all Pakistan-born stallholders on the market. Oh no. So this is BBC news brought it out, the UK news brought it out, okay? Father of three, Zahid, who was known as Boss Man, gave free underwear from his lingerie stall to girls who did not know each other. Okay, guys? So that's one of the perpetrator. That's the other perpetrator there. And that's the other perpetrator. It's 7 of them, guys. So the boss man, these 3, and these 3. And we're not going to forget that they're perverts, okay? Could you imagine? He also gifted them money. We're right here, guys, okay? Read along. He also gifted them with money, alcohol, and food in return for the expectation of regular sex with him and his friends, the court heard. In 2016, Zahid was jailed for 5 years in an earlier grooming gang case after he engaged sexually activity in 2006 with a 15-year-old girl who he met when she visited his stall to buy tights for school. Bashir did not attend the current trial after he, after he's absconded while on bail before proceeding got underway. It can now also be reported that Mohammed Shahaz, 44, Naheem Karam, 48, and Nizar Hassan, 41, were remanded in custody in January. Police receiving intelligence that the 3 taxi drivers were planning to leave the UK and already paid a deposit for their transport. So big UK, you know, guys. Oh no. Let's continue. The 7th defendant, Pakistan-born Rahi Khan, 39, also featured in another previous Rochdale grooming trial in 2013. He was jailed for 6.5 years as one of the 5 men was convicted for sexually exploiting profoundly vulnerable 15-year-old girl in 2008 and 2009. During the latest trial, a second jury was required after concerns that one original juror, thought to be an ex-police officer, might be racist. The prosecution did not oppose the application, and a second jury was sworn in shortly after. Jurors for 3 weeks before delivering their anonymous guilty verdicts. Okay? Convictions. All right? Zahid of Station Road, Krumsal, was convicted of graping girl A and girl B, of offenses of indecency with a child and procuring a child to have sex. Ahmed of Corona Avenue, Oldham, and Bajar of Napier Street East, Oldham, were convicted of multiple counts of grape and indecency with a child in relation to girl B. Shansaz of Biswick Road Street, Rochdale, Akram of Manley Road, Rochdale Hussain of a Newfield Close, Rochdale, and Khan of Atholf Street, Rochdale, were convicted of multiple counts of grape against girl A. Khan was found guilty of a single count of grape against girl A. During the trial, the prosecution offered no evidence against 8 defendants, Afran Khan, 41, and Rochdale, who declared of various sexual offenses. Indefensible and inexcusable. Following the verdicts, Detective Superintendent Allen from the Greater Manchester Police CSE team said the force should have done more at the time. What is clear is the way those victims were dealt with at the time, indefensible and inexcusable, he said. There was information at the time that police and other agencies could and should have done something with and we didn't. We have made comprehensive apologies for that. He said the force has since improved and now these investigations are managed. All the men were prosecuted as part of Operation Linton ongoing investigation by the force into historical child sexual exploitation in the town. A total of 32 offenders have been convicted so far as part of the inquiry, along with the earlier investigation called Operation Duplet into child sexual exploitation. 5 more trials are scheduled to take place from September, and we're going to be on it front seat. Liz Fell from the Crown Prosecution Service said these men targeted children, prey upon their vulnerabilities, and groomed them for their own sexual gratification. Guys, the treatment of the victims at the hands of these predators were nothing short of appalling. She said the conviction sent a very clear message that CPS and police would relentlessly prosecute those who are sexually exploiting children whenever that abuse has taken or took place. Sharon Hubbard, Rochdale Borough Council Director of Children's Services, said, "We know that these convictions are unlikely to erase the memories of the abuse these women were subjected to as children, but we hope they do bring some form of closure. We know that more could and yeah, it's downstairs. Downstairs. We know that more could and should have been done by the people who were working here at the time, and for that we are truly sorry." The NSPCC said that the appalling, ruthless exploitation of these vulnerable girls highlighted the need for children to be able to speak out and warn that adults must educate themselves on signs of grooming. Child sexual abuse can have profound and long-lasting consequences, and those who experience it, the charity added. Okay, girls? So in February 2025, guys, 13 was a sex slave to the gang. In her file to the police and to the social worker, child was labeled as a prostitute in council file trial, people. Okay? So let's get into it a little bit more. All right? Okay. So like I said to you, she was only 10 years old at the time when they started to do all of these things to them, to the girls, okay? I am going to take off the screen because I put on the screen to show you the pervert. So he's the boss guy. These are the other 3. These are the other 3. Okay? So those are the other 3. 3s and 1. 7 of them. All right? From one of the victims small, she was labeled in the file, guys, as by the social worker, okay, as prostitute. See there, you know. Look. Can a 10-year-old child be a prostitute? Only in the UK. Can a 10-year-old child be a prostitute, people? This all happened in the UK. As con to the victims, the social worker and the police them knew about it, but nobody cared. Okay, guys? This trial been going on for a while. But this sinister and this nastiness happened from in 2001 packing up to 2006. And they're just getting caught right now, guys. The trial is done. They just found them guilty recent. Go look up that case if you don't believe me. Okay, people? So this happened in Manchester. Okay? They are 8 men. Okay, guys? All right? They also remember they're working in the market. He was also handing out underwears and stuff like that to these kids when they come to buy anything from the stall. Okay? The victims has been subject to depression, anxiety, and everything else. Okay, guys? Keep on going. All right? One of them was only 13. One of them was only 10. Most of these men could be their grandfather, 40, 50, and the list go on, people. Okay, so I'm only showing you guys all of this because it was a long case and I'm not reading out all of this. So the trial has adjourned until February 24, and then the trial again started again, and the trial just wrapped up in the UK with 38 gang members of perverts sexual assaulting and graping off young girls from the age of 10. Some of them is all 40s people. Some of them is in their 50s people. Let's go back to the other story that I was telling you, that I was reading from, and show you that this story that I was reading from, guys, these kids as young, some of these men are big and big and big. So one of them are 39 people. Okay? Keep on going. One of them are 44. One of them are 48. And the list go on. You have some of them people that are 50 and change. Can be grandfather and all. See, this was going on for a while, people. Okay? And like I said, all of them has been convicted right now. Right here. Frontline news. So I was at work, people. That's why the live is late. I not too long come over and finish a 16-hour shift. I'm just running around in my house, like literally. So that's why it was late. And when I was at work, I was reading and carrying on. And I ran into the story and I said, oh my, when I get home, have some tea, I take off my clothes and all of that. Well, take off my uniform and all of that. I am going to come and unpack the story with you guys for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, whoever enjoyed this day. Okay, guys? So I had to come and unpack the story quickly and swiftly, and the major perverts in the UK abusing young girls. Okay? From there, guys, we want to unpack some more of the story, and so you guys can listen what's really happening in the story, so-called story, right here and right now. Okay, guys? So let's unpack the story. So as you know, is the 5 perverts right here. As you know, is the 5 perverts. I am going to leave the screen up on some, take off the screen in some, because I don't want a copyright strike. Remember, it's news. At times you can add it in your content. At times you get a copyright strike. Depends on how they do their channels. So these are the 5 big ass pervert. If you look at them, they're big, old, and dusty and rusty. Can be father, uncle, grandfathers, grandfathers, and grandfathers. But yet still they were out here with the age of 10-year-old little girls, giving them cigarette, marijuana, and all of these things. And if you never know about this big, severe case in the UK, I am here to broadcast it. No! Grapists out here, big, dusty, old, grown, tone, men harassing children, preying on children from in the 2000 and way back. We're now in 2025. Most of the victims are in their 40s and 30s. The case just unpacked in the UK. Pack out. Remember, sexual assault have no statute of limitation. So that could happen to you at 2, and when you're 40, you come and talk. If you could find the perpetrator, they'll be surely locked up, clunk, clunk, clank, clank, clink, clink, clank, with the silver bracelet. So let's unpack the story some more, shall we?
Now, have you ever had sex with a white girl in your taxi?
Sex with a white girl in my taxi? No, sorry.
They failed to answer.
Some of them were taxi drivers as well.
Than 2 decades.
Are you known as Lala Akram?
No comment.
But today, this group of 7 men were told to expect significant jail terms for abusing 2 teenage girls in Rochdale between 2001 and 2006.
What did I say?
Market trader Mohammed Zahid,
The boss.
prosecutors say, was the ringleader. Nicknamed Boss Man, he plied the girls, who were known to social services, with drink, drugs and cigarettes. The court heard the abuse for one of the girls started with a car journey.
Listen.
Zahid, who was then in his 40s, picked up one of the victims, known as Girl A, in court on a trip to buy stock for his market stall. She was wearing her school uniform when Zahid raped her. He introduced her to a network of taxi drivers and his other victim to market traders. They were both used as sex slaves. In court, both victims spoke to the jury, one saying she could have...
I want to interject for a second. Can I interject for a second, guys? Yeah, I know I talk a lot. Remember, many of these men go to a first world country, but in their country, they're allowed to sleep with young girls of the age of 10. Remember this, you know. Remember, they're allowed to even marry to young girls in many of their countries. So it's something that they're used to, something in their culture, and they come now to the UK to practice that. Can you practice those things in the UK? Can you be that brave enough in the UK to do those things? Anyways, let's continue and unpack, shall we? Let's back it up from here, okay? All the way back here.
Prosecutors say was the ringleader.
Start it
Nicknamed
over.
Boss Man, he plied the girls who were known to social services with drink, drugs and cigarettes. The court heard the abuse for one of the girls started with a car journey.
Listen.
Zahid, who was then in his 40s,
I started
picked up
over.
one of the victims, known as Girl A, in court on a trip to buy stock for his market stall. She was wearing her school uniform when Zahid raped her. He introduced her to a network of taxi drivers and his other victim to market traders. They were both used as sex slaves. In court, both victims spoke to the jury, one saying she could have been abused by as many as 200 men.
John Oster.
I just lay there and let them do what they did.
You're there.
I didn't know it was abuse at the time.
Last year, an independent review found they weren't alone, revealing the cases of hundreds of potential victims of Rochdale grooming gangs referred to police by social services were not acted upon between 2004 and 2012. The poor handling of those reports led for...
Is it because that these children are Indian children why UK at times with their racist self didn't act upon? These things were reported to social services. Social services having in one of their file that the 10-year-old child is a prostitute. Almost like the Epstein situation, when he raped off the young girls then, they were told in court that soliciting sex from prostitute, when those girls were not even prostitute, they were minors. Soliciting sex from prostitute. And there were young girls in the Epstein case. So when a social worker can be crazy enough to write in her book that a 10-year-old girl is a prostitute, social worker need to be dumping a drum of cursing oil, to be honest. Just put her down in the cursing oil just like that and hold her down in there for a minute. I want to believe in violence. How does somebody come and tell you I'm being raped so many times, and then you put in the file at 10 that she's a prostitute? And not only that, you guys many complaints and nothing happened, and now you guys claim that you guys are sorry. People racism are out here, you know. Boy, sometimes the Indian people don't feel it, you know, but more time they claim they're the brown people, and more time brown people throw off some racism at times when they're ready. Allegedly. Don't mix me. Let's continue and unpack.
Detective Maggie Oliver to leave Greater Manchester Police in 2013.
The children were judged.
See?
Were blamed.
See?
Were called prostitutes.
What me say?
Making a lifestyle choice.
Hey!
And there was no protection.
Me beating her with the phone, you know. So what did I just say? By social workers. Just because they never look like the social worker. Racism at its finest in the UK, allegedly. Remember, guys, they were young kids. They're 40 and 30 now. One of them were 10. And from me hear this lady come out and say they were blamed. Am I lying? Me say one of them were labeled as prostitute and she was only 10 by the social worker. Hear it from the lady's mouth. Because more time when I shout, you hear I'm racist. More time when I shout, you hear I talk too much. More time when I shout, I'm putting words in the people's mouth. I am not. She a talk, not me. Let's unleash.
Of them. I didn't need to have to be a police officer to know that that was wrong.
When victims come forward to GMP now, they will be relieved. We will investigate those cases.
You hear?
We'll do our best to bring offenders to justice.
No, I never see nothing, so I can't make
Lawsuits
as well.
Despite the denials, the group were found guilty of 43 counts of sexual offences, ranging from indecent assault to rape. A quarter of a century since the first of those was committed, it could take much longer for confidence in support for abuse victims here to return. Jonathan Brown, ITV News, Rochdale.
Now you hear it for yourself, B. You guys heard that for yourself? So did you guys know that this case was happening? Did you guys know it took so long to get to court? Because the police, them as you hear the police just now, anybody come and tell us about sexual assault, we're going to believe them now. Oh no. The social workers need to be fired. Need to be fired, bro. Hey Joshua, good morning. Hey, need to be fired. They need to be fired. How dare you? Huh? How dare you? So when you really think about it, people, these people weren't gonna get away with this. And they've been doing this for a while. Okay? They've been doing this for a while and now they're in hot water, locked up, going to jail right now with this situation. So did you know and heard about the gang, Grooming Gang? When did it start? Let's unpack. This is from the 13th of June, 2025. Not all story that I'm giving you guys. I'm giving you guys stories. See, when I come and unpack the story, them, I want you guys to know that it's happening now. Okay? I want you guys to know that the story is happening now. Okay, guys? Now my screen is freaking blank. I'm not sure why. Fucking hell. Excuse me, my French people. My screen is blank, which I didn't want the screen to be blank. Oh my God. YouTube beats me bad always. YouTube beats me bad too much. But you see, if I was the ones here that collecting money off YouTube, then maybe me da feel away. But you see, because I just come from a 16-hour shift, kiss me teeth and pass. The phone is blank now. Why? Anyways, guys, let's unpack the content because I'm not going to hang up this content because I'm already almost 30 minutes in the content. So let me unpack it, all right? I am going to bring my phone to Apple. If something is wrong with my phone, then I'm just going to change out my phone, okay? If it's not my phone, and maybe it's the streaming, because I'm just using strictly YouTube streaming, maybe I need to go to StreamYard to insert some of these things. But I find it more easier if I do it this way by using my phone. I have different devices, but I just like to say, okay, let me just use my phone and stuff like that. Now the phone ready to beat me bad. Oh, my iPhone, you dumbass. Sorry, my French, guys. At sometimes it's just frustrating at times with this damn stupid screen. But anyways, let's unpack, okay? I still don't want to hold up this content. I'm still going to unpack it, okay?
Well, more than 2 decades have now passed since their offending started. 6 of these defendants barely reacted in court as the verdict was read out this morning.
So it's been decades this case been going on.
To come to court whatsoever. They sat for more than an hour as the jury found them guilty of 43 counts of sexual offences ranging from indecent assault to rape. Now, the victims in this case are both now aged in their late 30s, but at the time they were described as vulnerable children who were easy prey for older men to exploit. They were just 13 and 14 years old when they were first targeted by the group, who were mostly taxi drivers and shop owners in Rochdale between 2001 and 2006.
I told you.
The court was told that Mohammed Zahid, a Rochdale market trader, was central to this grooming gang. He gave the girls money, alcohol and cigarettes in return for regular sex with him and his network of associates. He today was found guilty of 20 offences, including 10 counts of rape. Now, earlier in proceedings, one of the victims who spoke from behind a screen in court said she initially blamed herself for what happened to her and didn't go to police with the allegations. But today, those responsible for this abuse have been told to expect very lengthy prison sentences indeed when they return here later this year. Well, more than 2 decades have now passed since...
So it's been 2 decades have been passed, people. The victims are in their 30s, like I said. Just get sentenced. A grooming gang, they're called. I never know that you have a gang out here called the Grooming Gang. The Grooming Gang. Screen is blank for me, people. I can't even show anything on the damn screen. I'm pissed off at this point. But what can I say? I'll just give you guys the logo face. Okay, people? So if you didn't know, now you know. If you never heard about this case, you're always going to hear about this case over here like now. We always have the people in business over here, full pledge, full force. We always have things over here that we can talk about. When you go on the internet and you watch YouTube, everybody is talking about the same thing. It's best and it's good to be unique and different. That's why you see I bring these kind of stories, because the stories them don't miss. The stories them are on point. The story them are true. The story them are happening right now. The story them are new and them right here. And they're like, oh, here, pow, pow. for me to come and tell you guys, this is a next content out here that I'm running with. So did you hear about the grooming gang? Have you heard about the grooming gang? And if you haven't, now you know to know that the grooming gang has been convicted for horrific sex crimes against 2 girls in Rochdale, UK. Oh my. Ouch. Okay, guys, now, since I can't show you guys anything on my phone, which I'm really mad, okay? Let's just unpack the iPad. Simple as that. Because when one thing don't work, well, the other one will work, wouldn't it? So from there, guys, since we're talking about court case, since we're talking about police, since we're talking about all of that, let's run to Jamaica for a second and unpack this. So imagine that you're on a wanted list and and you're not supposed to be there. Imagine they have you out here armed and dangerous like a mother. Finish the rest. And you're not armed and dangerous. Police make a mistake. Lawsuit in the making. Let's unpack. All the way in Jamaica. Man end up on wanting list. But police supposed to come now and apologize to Orlando Gray because Orlando Gray is not wanted and Orlando Gray is not in any crime. Jamaica, here we come. Right us on the plane without any tickets.
To a primetime news follow-up now, there are calls for the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF to publicly apologize to the man who was wrongfully featured in its Wanted Wednesday's publication on social media.
Man.
Raquel Porter has been tracking
Look at
this
this.
story.
Do you realize how serious this is?
While
Serious.
the lawsuit may be hanging over the state, security consultant Robert Finzi-Smith said the lack of response from the Jamaica Constabulary Force is unacceptable.
At the very least, very least, the JCF needs to put out a public apology in all media that they put this photograph on. And if I were his lawyer, I would see what I would consider to be sufficient compensation for what the young man has suffered. But it goes deeper. It means that if I get a picture of somebody somewhere and put on the JCF thing, he can end up being, what is the terminology, unalive. And then people say, oh, so sorry, wrong person.
The JCF eventually removed the image from Instagram on June 10, 2025, minutes after 5 p.m.
JCF man enough to come out on this one. On a wrong.
There were queries about the reason for the error. And though the photograph has been removed from the JCF's social media pages, human rights advocate John Clark pointed to the potential long-term impact the error may have on Mr. Gray's life.
You may have a scenario where his image is still on websites belonging to other persons, and more importantly, may still affect him when searches are made online in relation to whether or not he was ever arrested by the police, which will always have to answer yes to in relation to any material that deals with embassies, etc. And important, I don't think many citizens give sufficient credence to the fact that mistakes can be made and that this information will forever be in the public and will forever affect his name.
Meanwhile, attorney at law Alexander Shaw says despite whatever legal action Mr. Gray may take, the harm to his reputation is irreparable.
In 2025,
No,
when your
man.
image is published, especially because of the manner in which police go about arresting people, and there's this fear of meeting the judge or your maker. So I believe all of that has to be taken into consideration.
Meet the judge or meet the maker. What a slang from a prime minister. If it was in my country, prime minister would have to step down. Prime minister would have go down in that treason. Prime minister would have violated the citizen charter of rights. Only in the third world country. Kiss me teeth and pass. Anyways, imagine that. So yeah, young man, them two out of order. Could you imagine? Two out of order now. Could you imagine? Anyways, people, let's get into some other things. You see, because my phone is blank, sometimes I have to, if and but to see where to go when it comes to the content, guys, because guess what? Guess what? Guess what? My screen is blank. My screen was blank. My screen is blank, 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 blank. Anyways, all right. So, since the screen is blank, I don't even know if I could give you guys an hour. And like I said, I'm coming from a 16-hour shift, so I'm tired, yeah? I've been at work yesterday, guys, if you're not understanding. I've been at work yesterday, basically from 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Okay? So I'm exhausted. Soon fall asleep, and I soon have to go outside and shut it again. So my life is not easy, okay? So when you see me pause a little bit, it's just extremely a little bit tired. But when you have a content to do more time, you're just going to come out and do it, because some of yous possibly may be waiting for me to come with the content this morning. If you weren't waiting and you just come up here by fluke, I still respect you anyway, and all of those kind of things. All right. So remember I said to you that Kanye West seems that he wanted to go to the trial the other day, and I'm like, oh my. If you're in that deep hot water, would you want somewhere like Kanye West to come and show up there to be one of your supporter? Or you rather to just have the people outside cheering and all the bloggers outside giving all the detail? Well, I told you guys Kanye West find himself at the courthouse for what? I don't even know, but let's unpack. Let's unpack, please, and thanks.
I want to tell you that my favorite trials.
Okay. 1 second.
Prosecutors say was not exactly truthful about where he lives. Was it New York or was it New Jersey?
1 second. I have to pause this.
And a jury.
Did you guys know that they still want to kick off the black juror? Remember, if you live elsewhere, you cannot be on the juror stand. So they're claiming that the black man, the only black man on the case, on the jury pool, lied about his address. Yes? Not only that, seems like they're going to kick him off. And if you have a black man on trial and one black man in the jury and you guys find excuse that his address is wrong, then I don't know where to go with this trial. But let's unpack why they want to throw him off the jury pool, like I said. And let's get to why Ye end up at the courthouse. So let's unpack this quick and fast.
Suspicion, maybe even deception, and none of it was even about Diddy or about the witnesses. It was about a juror, a guy we're calling juror number 6, 41-year-old black male. Prosecutors say was not exactly truthful about where he lives.
Told ya.
Was it New York or was it New Jersey where you spend your days and nights?
Listen.
And a jury of Diddy's peers in the Southern District of New York, they have to come from New York.
Yep.
Not allowed to come from New Jersey.
Oh, no.
So
come on, jury. You're that dumb juror, man?
But because he's black.
Yep.
Team Diddy said he needs to stay.
Yeah, he needs to stay.
Of diversity. I know you're all thinking something different right now.
I'm
gonna just ruminate on that. But the judge did say that he suspects that guy was fibbing about where he lived so that he would for sure make it on that jury. Right? And so the judge said he's strongly inclined to send juror number 6 packing. In fact, almost did. But then said, I'll think about it on the weekend if I change my mind.
The dirty judge, allegedly. The Indian judge will land himself in the court for the first time.
The woman only identified as Jane, the chalk all scratched out on her face. But as
Jane looked like 50 Cent woman.
The week may have been hers, but this day belonged to this fella.
Kanye West.
Oh, man, Kanye West.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus, I live and breathe. He showed up at the courthouse today in a Maybach.
What Kanye West going?
$100,000 right there, that whip. Said he was there to support his friend. And the timing of his arrival. Oh, jeez, eh? Well, Jane.
Didn't you guys not heard that Kanye West's name was mentioned in the court? That's why Kanye show up and say, here you have, you suckers. Yo, Kanye, I don't know, my brother. Came out and said that you sell your mom's soul and dee and all kind of story. Should we feel sorry for you? I am not sure. Should we sorry for you? I am not sure. But anyways, guys, from there, dum 1 second. Is it this one? Hold on, let me see if I could find it. Okay. So what the Las Vegas ex-owner of the site of Las Vegas deadly fire sentenced to prison. Did you guys hear about this one? Let's unpack this one. People, my phone is blank, so I'm trying to go and order what I
Sir, did you get away with this essentially with only having to serve 2 to 4 years?
You remember that fire?
There from the building owner of this, the deadliest fire in the city of Las Vegas city limits history.
Wanna remember?
A judge sentencing that man, Adolfo Orozco Garcia, to up to 4 years in prison. But the judge allowed him to wait 90 days in order to turn himself in.
8 News Now investigator Kyle Payne. Kyle in court for today's hearing, caught up with that landlord on his way out of the building. Here's Kyle.
Denise Bryan, the Alpine Motel fire in downtown Las Vegas killed 6 people and injured 13 in 2019. It took 6 years of litigation before the landlord took responsibility for the fire and took an Alford plea, meaning he'll be sentenced for the crime, but doesn't admit guilt.
You're dead.
Hours in court Tuesday before a judge gave the man his sentence, but still let him walk out the door.
4 years for
Mr.
6 people
Garcia,
dead underneath the fire.
Just if you have
Of your
any
illegal
comment,
building, sir.
any reaction whatsoever. This was such a big story and a big fire. Please, Mr. Garcia, just a comment.
Garcia, stop now.
Mr. Garcia,
I know. I would drink the pop
90
too.
days for Adolfo Orozco Garcia before he begins what could be 4 years in state prison.
Oh my!
For the December 2019 fire that,
oh God, look there,
by
people.
all accounts, could have been prevented. Judge Jacqueline Bluth Tuesday summarizing the terrible conditions in the building.
I told you,
including
building was
bed-bug-infested
unkept.
apartments, no lighting in the hallway, little to no electricity.
Yep.
There were no ceilings in their bathrooms where their ceilings were coming down. There was no working heat, and they were consistently trying to use stoves and ovens
Could you
to
imagine?
heat themselves to survive the winter.
And that's exactly what happened
Look.
in apartment 8 where the fire started. Prosecutors say the person who lived here had the stove running to keep his apartment warm.
Oh, God.
Left, and when he came back, ran from the flames, leaving the door open and letting the fire spread. But many smoke detectors were disabled, the fire alarm not working, and a back door bolted shut.
You're
This
dead.
woman in yellow tried to leave through the door that did work, got disoriented, and breathed her last breath right here. The issue is that it was a dump.
Of course the building was a
Back door
dump.
was locked. Defense attorney Dominic Gentile told Judge Bluth he was not expecting her to sentence Adolfo Garcia to prison and continued to defend his client after court ended, saying prosecutors.
Building run down, building full of bed bug, no heat, no this, no that, no that. And the building burned, and this man is only going to do 4 years for all of that lives lost. Hey, Mr. Garcia, and when we're talking to you in the news, we're talking to you, they're running, drinking your pop. Somebody sees you with the pop and clobber you in your head with it. Like, imagine that. So where's your remorse, sir? 4 years and don't admit nothing. That means that man could go run a next nasty rundown building. That's not up to the code of having buildings or being a landlord. Could you imagine that? So this is a slumlord. Kiss me teeth and pass. So if you never know about it, now you know. The 2019 fire in Las Vegas now came to a halt. Man sentenced for 4 years only for those lives that lost. That means the people life nowadays days don't matter, does it? People lives nowadays days depends, right? Depends, right? And people depends. So I just have to literally kiss my teeth and pass. All right? All right then, now boom. Let's go back to this case that we were speaking about yesterday. So remember I said to you guys, let's unpack the story some more. So remember I said to you guys, people, I know the screen is not nice, but I can't do anything because if I even try to show you guys something else on the screen other than a green screen, nothing is shown, everything is dark. So I'll give you guys a green screen talking to you guys to let you guys realize I'm still here, guys. Okay, wait, take off that, put on that. Green screen I'm giving you guys. So remember I spoke to you guys yesterday and I said to you guys, did you guys heard about the Bronx baby, the toddler? Did you guys heard that from the 10th, he was missing? Dad came to pick him up. They had some kind of arrangement with the court system where he get visitation rights and mom gets the baby. The mom has custody, but dad get visitation rights. The baby have been missing from the 10th. The baby father and his mother got into some kind of argument, and the boy left with the baby in the diaper and his shirt. We'll say baby because he's a baby. Okay, toddler. He's still a baby. The boy tossed the baby into the river. 1 week, I think, after that, the baby mother saw him and said, yo, where is my baby? Where is my child? He pulled a knife on her and she went to go to the police. Remember when they went to the police, I will say allegedly, because the police is going to come and prove if they went to the station or not by backtracking that camera in the station. Because she said she went down to the station and make a report and they said they couldn't help her. So the only thing, since they couldn't help her and they didn't take no report, they didn't write down anything, obviously they're not going to find anything on paper. But the camera in the police station shouldn't lie. The camera should show that that little 17-year-old little girl came to the police station to let you guys know her black child is missing. They told her allegedly that there's nothing that they can do. It's in a court situation, so she should go to court to basically to get a paper saying that he violated his visitation rights. When she evidently get that paper, people, remember, come with me, me want to count people. May 10th, she got that paper. May 30th, that's when the police them act. When did I come out with that story? Yesterday. When did they find that baby in the river? Yesterday. Or the day before. Because I came with the story yesterday. Okay? Look up that story. Remember when I was gleeing over the story, because that wasn't really my content, but I just kind of gleed and glide over the story a bit just to add it to the content. We get to understand that baby mother is 17. So I want you guys to do the math. How long does it take for a baby to born? 12 months. 12 months, right? Not 12 months, right? The baby is 1 year for 12 months and 9 months for a baby to born. So the baby, 9 months you have the baby. Baby turned 12 months. 1. Next 12 months. 2. Okay? So if she's 17 and the baby is 2, guys, how old was she when she had that child? Hello? Anyone? Anyone? It takes 9 months for the belly to push up. 9 months for the baby to born. Sometimes you have the baby earlier than that. Okay, guys? So 9 months for the belly. Baby born. 12 months for the baby to be 1. Another 12 months for the baby to be 2. So is it possible that she was pregnant when she's about almost 15, 14? At the age of no consent? How old is that guy? The guy is 20 years old. So therefore, the guy basically molested her. Am I lying? What is the age of consent in America? I'm assuming that it's 16. So if she's 17 and the child is 2 years old and he's 20, that means that that little girl had that baby when she's about almost 15. Not even. So he basically raped her, molested her. And the dirty mom is out here. I don't know what he did to that baby. Dirty mama. Some of you mothers out here have some of these demons out here who are prey upon people's child. And then when they get their own child, they end up preying on that child. You know why he end up throwing that baby in the pond? In the river? Because he was already out here abusing a child. So if you already abuse a child and never get locked up for having a child, a baby with a child, because you're older than her, then why did you care to even throw the baby in the river? So he violated that little girl twice. You want me to unpack the story again for you guys? I just said to you guys, if she's 17 now in 2025 and the baby is 2 and the mutt dog is 20, therefore the mutt dog had sex with her when he wasn't supposed to, then the mama should be locked up and everybody in that household. When they're coming out and talk about the police failure, the mama in the house failed her. The mother in the house failed her. Because this big old nasty mutt should be locked up for sleeping with the 14-year-old and a half. The way I see it. So the boy out here is a pervert. The boy is out here as a molester. Allegedly. Do the math for yourself. If the baby's 2 and that girl is 17 and he's 20. How old was she when she got pregnant? Do the math. So in the black community, like I always shout, we condone with so much freaking wrongs. So you know your son is older than this little young girl, and he knocked up this young girl and he never went to jail. And she put him on some kind of child support situation because maybe this boy is a madman. And then you come and take the baby and kill the baby and victimize the little girl all over again. after you already victimized her, after you raped her off when she was young and gave her that belly? So is it possible that when this boy get locked up, because until now they never charge him for murder. So is it possible when they charge this boy for murder, they're going to charge him for also rape or molestation? Or that's not going to fly? Because this is a tragedy where everybody's looking at the police. How can somebody come tell you that the child is missing and you're talking about technicalities? We don't want to hear about technicalities. We want to hear about common sense. Because of technicalities of the court, the police claim that they couldn't get involved. But police officer, a welfare check possible? A welfare check maybe? We don't care for technicalities. We care for common sense. So regardless if you guys couldn't get involved or not, what about a welfare check from the 10th? So no welfare check done. The mother never go by the house to see where the child was. The mother just went back to court to get a paper. Go back to the police station. That's when the police station put out the baby that the baby is missing. What date is today, people? Today's what date, people? Yesterday was what date? People were in June. This occurred in May. Baby went missing from in May the 10th. And we're in June now, just finding that little boy now out of the pond. Dead like a dog. With the dirty father who violated that little girl when she was young, when he got her pregnant, and violated her again when he threw that baby in the river. So am I reading in things? So why does the black community always condole with rape, molestation, and wrongs? Why? Why most of the time the black community have one dirty son in the house who touch up people, girl, pitney, and grandma and mom out here talking about I'm a grandma for the baby? Why? Why some of you mothers don't control you guys freaking mutt in our household who out here are kill people and kill babies? So a lot of you black women out here have some kids out here wanna let out upon the mercy of the world. They're effed up in their brain. Sick perverts. And on top of it, they're out here and they're ready to kill and destroy. Not only that, they're killing the innocent, the baby. Why him never kill himself? We don't believe in suicide, but why him never jump? When you're out here raping off a little girl and giving her a baby, and then on top of it, you come dash the baby in the river, you should jump as well. And we don't believe in suicide. This one don't deserve to eat nobody's food, no taxpayers' food, no juice, no coming, nothing. He should get in jail. Nothing at all. So you're trying to tell me when I dropped this content yesterday, you guys didn't realize that boy was older than her when he knocked her up? You didn't realize that boy triple abused her mentally, physically, and financially? Think about it, guys. So let's unpack the story one more time. What I'm talking about. Okay? So if you guys didn't catch on yesterday to realize that this boy was older than this little girl when he had her, when she had the baby, and he's a pervert and a baby killer. What more can you get from that? How disgusting can you be? Baby killer and a molester. That go hand in hand in jail? Where they going to put him on the PC range? Yo, brother, I tell you, this is crazy, but I'm not surprised. Many wrongs goes on in the black community all the time. And grandma is there crying for baby instead of grandma going to lock up her son for touching people's 14-year-old child. Where's her mother? Where's the 17-year-old mother? So she sat there and make her daughter bring in underage pregnancy. If you go hide now, that little girl maybe didn't even finish school because she's supposed to finish high school now at the age of 17. If you go and hide, maybe possible that little girl don't have no college and university plan because she's a young mom. How's she going to go to school now when the baby's dashing the river? She's going to be grieving right now again on top of what she's supposed to be grieving. Remember that little girl never had any childhood. If she's 17 and the baby is 2, 9 months to have the baby, that little girl never had no teenager life. She was out here pushing her belly in front of her going to doctor's appointment. Her mom needs some slap and the boy's mother need a slap and a box and a kick. We're not saying that she should have an abortion. But why do you guys have your young girls them in the house and not talking to them about contraceptive and birth control? Why not have them out here having sex underage? And then on top of it, boy could end up knocking her up, and boy come smile and laugh and come take baby and visitation rights. Really? So when the little girl went in court to get that visitation rights and go do up that boy in court, the judge never realized the little girl was underage as well to file some kind of concern with children aids? With children aids? So the way how I see it, his mother conduct that boy in wrongs. That's why that boy could stand there that day and curse her off and left with the baby. Because him look on the woman, he look at the mother in the house like a little girl in the house. Go away, mom. F you, mom. Shut up, mom. Go away, mom. Because don't forget, mother, you condole him in his grave saga. The little girl was 14 when your son was older than him. Your son is 20. Your son was 3 years older than that little girl when he knocked her up. Because he's 20 and she's 17. So she was 14 and he was 17 when he knocked her up. Dirty granny. And the little girl, mama, you want dirty mama too as well. Who condole these kind of wrongs and these nastiness? Why do we continue to have our young girls in the house and then big boy and nowadays they come talk to our little girls and we think it's funny and then she's knocked up and nobody goes to jail? I couldn't even put myself in that situation, because if that was my daughter, that boy couldn't even see that baby. And he would have get locked up for molesting my daughter too on top of it. Do you understand? So this is crazy to me. So when you really think about it, people, the boy is a pervert. The boy is very nutty. And the boy is a wicked boy. And his mom knew that she had a demon within her. And a demon walk around in her house and she pretend that she never know. Because from that boy was 17, knock up that 14-year-old little girl, you should have cautioned that boy. Boy, what you doing? You go down for rape. So once an abuser is always going to be an abuser. So that's why he could have taken up the next little baby and dump him in the river. Because I abuse a child already, why not abuse another one and get away with it? And he was so happy when the police told that girl, we can't get involved. And when the police pull him in and say, hey, bud, where's the baby? They figured out that the baby is in the pond from May 10th. We're in June 15th now, people. And we're just hearing that news now. Actually, yesterday, the 14th. So let me continue to unpack this. I'm going to mute you guys for a second. So I had to mute you guys for a second because that's commercial, okay? And I didn't want all of that commercial in it. So that's why I kind of mute you guys. But like I said, guys, the child was found in the river, the Bronx River, okay? And if you really look at the situation, guys, the mother was underage when this boy had this baby. Underage. So let me remind you guys
tonight
about
for a
it.
little boy believed to have been dumped in the Bronx River by his father. A body found today in the East River near the Whitestone Bridge may be 2-year-old Montrell Williams, and his father could be facing a murder charge. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon with family members who attended tonight's vigil.
Please bring healing to this family.
The tight-knit family of a young father accused of doing the unthinkable is struggling tonight to understand why.
I don't have the answer to why he do this and why he would even think of doing this.
They're remembering 2-year-old Montrell Williams as a sweet and happy toddler.
Montrell was a great baby. He was great. It's just hard. It's real hard.
He kept calling him Daddy. He trusted him. He trusted him. He took his life.
It was here at this spot in Garrison Park in Hunts Point, marked with Montrell's favorite toys, that police believe it happened on or around May 10th. The 20-year-old father has been in police custody since Monday, when he allegedly told the child's 17-year-old mother he had thrown their son into the Bronx River. The NYPD launched a search in the water.
So how old is she? How old is the mother? 17. How old is the little child? 2 years old. How old is the dog? 20. So you do the math. She had the baby underage. The boy was older than her when they had the baby, when that baby was conceived. And the grandma right there was crying with her ugly face, is a nasty grandmother, because she know that her son is a crazy ass, a nutcase, and a pervert on top of it. What do you mean that the baby trusted him? That boy can't be trusted if he's touching a 14-year-old. So the baby, he wasn't even supposed to be trusted around the baby. That boy's supposed to have visitation rights, supervised visitation rights, not by himself because he's unstable. But those things only happen in the black community all the time, where a boy can sit down there and sleep with a 14-year-old child, give her a baby, and still turn around, come around and take the baby. While he was going through the door, why didn't you guys not call the police? Oh, I forgot. It's custody issue, court issue. So there's nothing the police can do when a black toddler missing and nobody went to go do a welfare check. So there's so many wrongs more time in the black community, we don't even know where to begin and where to start. So I had to come and share that content with you guys today, guys, regarding that situation, and remind you guys that the boy is a pervert and a molester and a baby killer on top of his mental illness. Okay, guys? So I had to come out and shout that. All right? What else I have to tell you guys? What else I had to talk to you guys about? There were some other things, eh? Just can't remember. 1 second. Is it this? Okay. We want to talk about the death of Lewis, you know, the talk show host. She died at the age of 52. This lady, let her, our heart and soul goes out to her. I don't know if you guys heard about this story, but she passed away with cancer, guys. And cancer is on the run, killing each and one of us every day. And we don't know where the cure is, guys. And so much out here everyday donation. Okay? So I had to come and shout that. Okay? Nothing else is showing on my screen. What else I need to speak to you guys about? The 1 second. I was supposed to speak to you guys about something else, you know. But I don't even know. I don't. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm gonna wrap up this live because okay, I want to talk about this. So, you know, a lot of times we out here and we use emojis. A lot of times we're out here and we use emojis, right? I try to limit most of the time some of my emojis that I use. Did you guys know that emojis were symbols that invoke energy? Did you guys know that the emojis were the 72 seagulls for the 72 demons? Did you guys know that? I will come back and unpack another thing about emojis another day. Okay, guys? So I'm going to wrap up this live. Thank you guys for stopping by. Happy Father's Day to everybody who's celebrating Father's Day. My screen is blank, so I can't even show you guys nothing on the screen. But happy Father's Day, guys. When it comes, enjoy your day. And at the end of the day, we'll meet again with another content or two. And I'll catch you guys sometime in the morning. Peace and love.